Dragon Ball FighterZ has done the unthinkable. Not only has it come back from seemingly death itself, it's coming back with a new DLC, a new DLC season, new DLC characters, and a new update. And all of this is happening. The update's actually happening tomorrow, but the new character is coming out early next year in the season of spring. Hello everyone, it's me again, Steve Doji here, again back to more Dragon Ball, and I honestly wasn't expecting to upgrade Dragon Ball FighterZ already, but they have already cooked up a big hit for this game in 2026. So, Goku Super Saiyan 4 Daima. Don't think I need to even say who that is. You guys all know who that is. You watch Dragon Ball Daima. He's officially joining Dragon Ball FighterZ roster, and it's shocking. They announced him already, but realistically, he's going to come out in about 5 to 6 months, based on the fact that, you know, the release schedule is in spring, and then the Dragon Ball Battle Hour itself happens in April. He's most likely releasing in like 5 to 6 months, right? However, a new patch celebrating the return of Dragon Ball FighterZ is actually happening tomorrow. So if you're a Dragon Ball FighterZ avid player, you're a fan, or even someone who just wants to try the game out, there's a new patch happening tomorrow. There's already lots of new gameplay features in it, but we'll get the full rundown when it actually drops. So obviously, you know, stay tuned for that, or just log in and be pleasantly surprised by what you see. Now, the Battle Hour itself, or at least the showcase when this is going to go down, is going to happen in April, which is, you know, in between the middle of May and March, which is obviously, you know, the season of spring. So most likely this will go down after the Battle Hour. I don't imagine they'll release SSJ4 Daima Goku before then, for the very obvious reason that you could just generate more hype by just having people, you know, watch all the live events waiting for him to release. And then obviously the live events end, and then they'll tell us the actual release date. It's nice that we're actually getting like a Dragon Ball game update or a patch like separate from the DLC. I feel like we don't get those anymore like ever again in Dragon Ball games, but FighterZ is out here going, hey, update available literally tomorrow, which is just peak, you know, like that's kind of hard to beat. Like that's really easy to just love. Moving away from the free update for a bit, I do actually want to talk again more about SSJ4 Daima Goku, because again, there's so much promise and interesting things that come with this character. Like, you can maybe argue that we won't get SSJ free Goku alongside him, or like in the same DLC pack, but there's no way we don't get Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo, right? Like, those are two characters that people were waiting for to come to the game, and they never did. In fact, it was the fact that they didn't show up in the game, which is what made people say, oh, I guess Dragon Ball FighterZ is over, because why would you just not include those two big money makers when the game is still very much alive and relevant, you know? So I think this is actually a really good chance for them to now go, hey, after this guy, Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo. And I think that would just work. People would buy that, people would eat that up. And then, not to mention, Dragon Ball FighterZ always has a really interesting way of doing movesets. I'd love to see Piccolo's ultimates. You know he's got level 3 where he does special from cannon, and then another one where he goes giant. That's going to be so fire. Now, we can dream about like paid updates or paid DLC packs or characters or blah 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 for as long as we want, right? But I think one thing that we need to address is definitely the free things. Now, obviously, since Dragon Ball FighterZ is now coming into the more modern age of Dragon Ball games, right? I wonder, is this game finally going to get crossplay? I think we can all agree that crossplay is something that would benefit the game a lot, admittedly. Pretty much all the modern fighting games now, Street Fighter 6, Tekken, etc., all have the crossplay. You can just play with people from other systems with like no issues. And it'd be weird the Dragon Ball FighterZ couldn't. Hell, even other Dragon Ball games nowadays coming out of crossplay. With games like, you know, Dragon Ball The Breakers and Genshin Squadron having crossplay. It'd be weird if FighterZ doesn't have this. I feel like they could update the game to have this, but again, maybe it's super costly, so it won't happen. But I think most people would appreciate if we actually did just get crossplay for Dragon Ball FighterZ. Again, it's one of the things that keep fighting games alive longer, to have the ability to reach and access more players by being able to play people on entirely different systems altogether. You know, that's just such a strong thing for any game to be able to achieve in terms of like keeping the player base alive, as well as for keeping the player count high and giving people basically endless possibilities when it comes to who they want to face. I think overall it'll just be a good idea to add this. Obviously, again, it's a company. They can decide whether the costs are too much or if it's not going to be worth the price of going through all of that stuff. Or maybe they'll be like, hey, you know what, actually this could work. We just need a bit more time, so it might not release on the day of the actual update, but it could release during the course of us waiting for the new DLC characters, the new DLC season. Hell, it could even come out after the new DLC characters come out, you know? But I think people would appreciate that Dragon Ball FighterZ just has crossplay in general. Again, it's now contending with like modern age fighting games. It's going to be a Dragon Ball game, so it's always going to stand strong on its own 2 feet. But the fact that it is going to be in the modern age of all these other new games, it really should have crossplay. Like Bandai Namco also has Tekken, so I think they know that it would just benefit to just put crossplay in this one too. I'm wondering if we'll get any other kind of free updates or anything. Like, and when I mean free things, I mean just things in general that you can like use in the game without having spent extra like real life money on. And I know one of this is going to be controversial, but I would still like skins in Dragon Ball like fighters. I know skins are pretty hard to implement for a game like that, because just like Guilty Gear, they're done in this very like specific 2D, 3D way, where probably implementing a whole new like model on top of them is nightmarishly difficult. So it probably won't ever happen, but I would still like to see at least slight tweaks, like, I don't know, DBS Gogeta with like the SSJ like hair and maybe like the orange like, you know, shoulder parts, or Vegito in just regular Super Saiyan, you know, just make his hair yellow. But who knows, they'll probably have to do some trickery like how they do a manga color scheme for the Gokus, and I think Vegetas as well. It'll probably be really difficult to do, but I would still like to see more like free update, like adjacent things in Dragon Ball FighterZ, because if it's coming back, I would like it to stay for a while, you know. I don't want them to just go, we're bored, and then just, you know, stop supporting it out of nowhere again. I would like them to actually stay supporting, and the easiest way to do that is to put stuff in that the players actually want. Obviously, the players would be like, we want more characters, but like, you have to be realistic about the characters. The characters have to be cool enough for one, and then actually have an expansive enough moveset that people would actually pay to play. So I know people want to say stuff like, we should get Raditz and Omega Shenron in the DLC. And as cool as I think Omega Shenron would be, right, I don't think a lot of people are willing to pay money for him, even though he has a diverse moveset. So most likely, I think they should just stick to characters that they haven't added yet, like, you know, Beast Gohan, Orange Piccolo, etc. Hell, they could probably even add the Gammas as a character, maybe like a more active version of 17 and 18, where you can swap between the androids, so that way you can use their, you know, close-range speciality and long-range specialities together. And maybe Core Breaker could be like a hidden secret one-shot ultimate, kind of like SSJ4 Gogeta's Big Bang Kamehameha times 100, where you need to set it up for, like, you know, something cool. But I think, I honestly think that they can do some really cool stuff with Dragon Ball FighterZ DLC right now. Even the free stuff, right? Like, it doesn't have to just be the DLC, because think about arcade mode benefits from this, the raid battles benefit from this. They'll probably update the party matches, and the arena matches, and the ring matches, and all the different settings you can do in those matches, like, for example, picking triple of the same character, or any of the other, like, silly, weird things you could do. Dragon Ball FighterZ does really have a lot of variety when it comes to options available to you. And SJ4 Daima Goku, I can't wait to see him in the game, because we know for a fact he's going to start off in SSJ4, right? That's what the art shows. The art shows him in SSJ4, so it's not going to be any shenanigans like small Daima Goku, and then you have to build up his meter, and he can transform. Like, he's just going to be SSJ4. And oh my god, I didn't even think about this, but his intro, I really hope his intro is Super Saiyan 3 Goku powering up into SSJ4. That look, it's easy. It's such an easy opportunity. Please do. I'm begging you. I'm actually begging you. Oh, and then obviously his victory screen would be the same thing he has in Sparking Zero, right? Where he like floats down and he does like the smile with like the head turn. That's like a really cute thing, because even though he's like big, scary looking adult Goku, he still does, you know, his like good boy protagonist like head tilts and his big smiles. I think that would be a really cool victory screen for him to have. Hell, but then again, they probably will go for like something with more aura, right, as a victory screen. Maybe. I could see him going for something more dramatic if he ends up being the only character for a while, because we don't know if we're going to get Beast Gohan or Orange Piccolo yet. But it would be very reasonable to assume that we are, because that's just extra easy money just sitting there, just waiting to be like, you know, just waiting to be like used. But honestly, I think that's probably a solid place to end the video. Again, this is a massive shock, because everyone thought Dragon Ball FighterZ was over, but here it is, alive and well. So I think that's honestly a great place to end the video, guys. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, then once again, please leave a like in the video. Don't forget to subscribe, it greatly supports the channel. Leave a comment down below as to what you'd like to see next, fellas. I do love you all. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, and peace.